Hey everyone, so sorry, I was recording on the iPad and it like ran out of space and yeah, so I'm just gonna have to make this a part two. I'll try to keep this under like 6 minutes. So basically I went to that friend and expressed that I wanted to become Muslim, and the friend was very like shocked and basically was like, this is something serious. It's like, changing your religion. So just come back to me a little bit later, do some research or something, which I'm like I've been doing, but just come back later. If you're really serious, then I'll help you. So I came back like 2 weeks later and I'm like, listen, I really need to like become Muslim. So my friend gave me the number to Imam and told me like, this is a family friend of mine, so you should really call him and talk to him basically. So I went home. I decided to call the Imam. I remember like sneaking outside like of my apartment in the hallway of the building and like trying to like whisper to the imam because I didn't want like my family to hear me or whatever. And I basically remember the imam being very shocked that I was 15 and that I knew so much about Islam. He basically asked me like, "What do I know about Islam?" And when he was explaining it to me, I'm like, "Yeah, I know this," and blah 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 blah. And he was just like, "Wow, like I'm very shocked. Like not even a lot of born Muslim kids don't even know this stuff." So he told me basically like, based on what you're saying, like you're already Muslim in heart, and you just need to do the testimony of faith. And basically, all you have to do to convert to Islam is just say that I bear witness that there's no God except the one true God, the one creator, who has no partners, and that Muhammad, peace be upon him, is the last messenger of of God after a long line of messengers, pretty much. So basically, when he told me that, I kind of freaked out because I was 15 and I was like in my head, I was like, wait, I didn't tell this to the imam, but in my head, I was like, wait, am I legally allowed to like change my religion? Like, don't I need like a parent's permission or something? And I just remember freaking out and saying like, oh my God, what if this is illegal? And then I remember thinking like, I don't want to hurt my mother's feelings because she raised me as a Christian, and I'm so scared, like I don't want to break her heart or like make her disappointed in me. So I told the imam like, listen, I can't do this right now, like I'm really scared, what about my mom and things like that. So the imam was like, I can't force you to, but I'll just leave you with this. You've come to the conclusion that this religion is the truth, so now it's like binding on you to, once you know the truth, like you can't like pretend like you don't know it. And he basically was like, you can die at any time. No one's guaranteed tomorrow. And if you were to die right now, like, what state would you be in, pretty much? But I still was like, you know what, I can't do this right now. So I walked around for like the past like 2 weeks after that, and I kept thinking about what the imam was saying. And then I just remember feeling so sad because I really was like, if I had to gamble my life, I really believed in Islam. Like, I believed that it was the truth. And because like basically the way the Quran was written, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, it's really simple. Either someone, what they're telling you out of their mouth is either the truth or a lie. It's that simple. And Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, I read his whole biography at that time, and I just remember thinking, there's no way that this man is a liar. There's just no way that this man is lying about what his message was. And a part of his biography that always brings tears to my eyes is that basically, his tribe, his people basically was like, listen, if you want to be the king of our tribe, we'll give that to you. If you want all the money in the tribe, we'll give it to you. If you want any woman in this tribe, we will give her to you. Anything you want, just ask us, we'll give it to you, but just stop preaching this message. And he basically said, whether you put the sun in my right hand and the moon in my left hand, I would never stop preaching this message, which is from God. And I'm just like, why? Like, why would someone put their whole life in danger? And just everything about him just clicks that this man was not telling the truth. I mean, was not lying, pretty much. And the Quran itself, it proves itself. There's no other holy book that says, listen, I this is from God, and if you don't believe me, produce something like this. Produce one chapter like it. Like, if you don't believe this is from your creator, produce something like it. Bring the whole of mankind together and produce it. You'll never be able to do it. So you better like submit, pretty much. Like, what audacity do you have to speak that way if what you're saying is not true? Like, it's just everything. There's so many scientific facts in the Quran that there's no way Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, knew at that time. And that 21st century, we're just finding things out. So basically, I just remember thinking to myself, like, I know for a fact this religion is true. I know for a fact if I had to gamble my whole heart and soul in my life, I think this is the smartest gamble to go with out of every religion that I've researched. And I just remember thinking, if I were to die right now, on the day of judgment, what would I tell God? I knew that you sent the truth down, and I refused to accept it because I was scared to hurt my mother. I don't think that's a really good, on the day of judgment, you're going to be by yourself. My mom will have to have her own accountability. I'll have to have my own accountability. And I can't let that hold me back. So I called the imam back and I explained, like, I'm ready to do this. And basically, I took my shahada. And it's so funny because I experienced this. And now when I hear other conversion stories, I hear so many converts say this. After I said the shahada, La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, there's no true God except the one God, and Muhammad is his last and final messenger, I physically felt a weight, like, physically, and I felt a weight lifted off of me that I didn't even know I was carrying around. And I remember thinking, like, once you convert to Islam, it's like you were wearing, like, very foggy glasses your whole life, and you could finally see clearly, and I just was like, wow, like, I don't know, Islam is just something else. It's so beautiful, and it breaks my heart now that we have all these extremists and all these things, and it's like, I've read the Quran, maybe not in Arabic, I've read the translation like 6 times since I've been Muslim, and I don't know where you can find violence or where you can find anything other than beauty in this book, subhanAllah. So, basically, that's my conversion story. Any last things that I want to say? I urge anyone to look into Islam, and I urge you to speak to knowledgeable Muslims. Like, you have to be careful too. Everyone is on different levels, and alhamdulillah, I didn't have a bad experience in meeting like bad Muslims or Muslims who didn't know what they were talking about. I was really in good hands. To this day, I'm in touch with this imam and his family, and they have guided me through like my whole journey. So, be careful of where you get your information from. In this day and age, with all that's going on, you still hear people converting to Islam, and the Quran says the truth will stand apart from falsehood, and there's no compulsion in religion. The only thing that we have to do is share the message. That's it, Don't shoot the messenger, you know what they say? Just share the message. And the reason why I'm telling my conversion story, and if anybody would want to talk to me about Islam, the reason why I like to talk so much about Islam, like on my Facebook and social media. I remember one friend a long time ago, the only person ever that really got mad at me and was like, why do you always have to talk about your religion and blah, 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 blah. And the reason is because I remember when I found out about Islam, I was very upset that no one ever told me about this religion. And I don't want to cheat somebody else out of that knowledge. And that's why I talk about this religion so much. That's why I talk about Islam so much, because I think it's something everyone deserves to know about and deserves to know the truth about. And that's pretty much why I talk about Islam so much. But yeah, so if you guys have any questions or comments or anything, definitely leave it in the description. And I'm so sorry for rambling for so long. But assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.